to make it here to the absolute final. Of course, he's gone on and done it, and here he is.
Were those real? Were those numbers real? 89% for Mugi? Is that real life? I am blown away. That is real. 89% for Mugi, 11% for the consensus #1 in the world, and you have to think that the reset of the bracket is a big factor in that.
That's a major factor, of course. On one part, the other part of it is that a lot of people probably have Mugi's poster on their wall, whereas Mohamed Light maybe isn't as popular in the same way as Mugi always has been. So here we go, kicking off our grand championship. Mugi top of your screen, Mohamed Light at the bottom. Your Clash Royale League World Championship starts now.
Wallbreaker cycled in the back. It's the third time that Mohamed Light has done that today. Guards to catch with a Tesla there. Guards have been paired with Lava Hound already a few times, but we've also seen it with a little bit of bait aspect. So we'll see if that's the same thing, and looking like it already from Mugi, rocking some Wallbreakers as well.
Love seeing this from these two players. This is the kind of matchup you want to see. Look, one of them might go Golem here. We already saw Mugi do it. One of them might go Lava here. We already saw Mohamed Light do it. That's not the matchup we want to see. We want to see these two guys playing high cycle, insane micro.
It's exactly what you talked about earlier, Rich. It's what you've talked about for years. Go for decks that give you outplay ability. That's what both of these gentlemen are doing with a bit of a change-up. You see the guards on one side, the Prince on the other, but still the Wallbreakers plus the Miner to create a lot of chip and a lot of pressure, and that's a great zap again. Zap we haven't seen a lot in competitive. We've seen it a ton today.
Miner goes to the outside. Prince tanking for the Miner. Wallbreakers is to play some defense, and Mugi knows he just got caught.
He spent way too much and got so little out of it. Mohamed Light strikes first, strikes hard. 1630 ticking down with that Miner on tower. His tower is virtually untouched.
What a crazy way to open. And Andrew, I'm a drill spammer. Everybody knows it. I talk about it a lot. Drill has not been very successful at this World Final.
No, you know, we saw a ton of it on day #1, and it was maybe split down the middle or much closer than we've seen in days 2 and 3. It seems our competitors have kind of locked down that drill, figured out the best ways to defend. And the other thing about drill is that that's the thing you have to really worry about the most. And they've been having a good time defending easily at the bridge.
And we just saw a little bit of laugh out of Mohamed Light at the bottom right-hand side of the screen. And so far this weekend, that has been a terrible sign for his opponents.
That's very true. And you know what? You got to feel like it's got to be Julesy on the other side of that headset. And you have to give credit, not only for his analysis, but the fact that you can keep your competitor having a good time at this level with this much on the line. That's a lot for a coach to do.
The defense Mohamed Light just played against that drill Wallbreakers push was absolutely brilliant. He played the Wallbreakers defensively to pop the drill, and then arrows behind. That is next level gameplay.
And you talk about the arrow value. Not only did it clean up those goblins, it also took the Wallbreakers off the board that were coming in. There's that zap, but the zap ends up allowing the Wallbreakers to connect. Nice connection there, but still down by about 1,000.
And now this is where Mugi started to take control a little bit. He's gotten a better rhythm. I think that maybe he was a bit out of sorts in cycle earlier in the game. Now he has the guards pretty consistently for that Prince. Doing a good job, but now this Mega Knight's going to set up a pretty big push to the right-hand side.
And I was just going to say, I would really like to see Mohamed Light use that Mega Knight on this defense specifically. You saw a big-time spend by Mugi in both lanes, so use that MK, stop the Wallbreakers, and create a bit of a counter push.
Minute 40 remaining here in sudden death overtime. Around 2,000 HP, 2,100-ish on both sides for Mohamed Light, currently in the lead with that 1398 on the opposite side of the board.
Prince coming in. That Prince value with the MK is something I'm sure we'll be seeing a lot of as this continues to tick down with only 80 seconds remaining. Miner going to go to the back, does miss the Valk, and now Wallbreakers tanked for by that Musketeer.
12:24 the mark on the right-hand side, and now is going to tank for the Bomber in the left-hand lane is that drill. Wallbreakers will not touch this time, getting taken care of early enough, and that Muskie now will pull the Valkyrie. Good spot here as we go into triple.
That Tesla up high, unfortunately for Mo. That Musketeer does not stay alive and assist the offensive push he had coming in, but Miner on the tower once again. And if there's one guy that knows how to cycle Miners rapidly, ravenously, it's Mohamed Light.
And you kind of see a little tilt of the head there from Mugi in that moment. Just cannot catch a break right now with those Miner catches. Good variation here so far from Mo.
And that's the other thing, that mind game that goes in. Nice pre-cycled guards, but he goes to the front with the arrows, and that is why everyone is calling him the best in the world. 3 Miners not got caught even with pre-cycled guards and a brilliant set of arrows to get that cherry on top.
And cannot believe those wall breakers did not connect on the left-hand side. Miner now going to the right-hand side for Mohamed Light, adding to that lead right now. Arrows to go on top, and that Miner is just putting the hurt on that right side tower.
Incredible. Zap plus arrows will do it. Mohamed Light takes game number 1, and he's one step closer to sending this to our super grand finals. Mugi not loving what he's seen, but he does still have a lot of life to give.
He can still win these 2 games and win it out right now. And if he does it, he still has a whole nother bracket reset, another best of 3 to go. So Mugi's still in a great spot. But if Mo's playing like that, dialed in this way, and of course they have the analysis down pat, man, I don't know who I'd rather be right now.
And I'm just gonna, us.
Yeah.
Until he wins the $200,000. But Mohamed Light, again, I want to go back to this. You know, Julius is not a person that I have spoken about a lot. He's not even a person I speak to very much. But I have to commend him for what he's doing for the mentality of his player.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being a $300,000 Clash Royale best of 3 and be smiling, laughing, having a good time against someone like Mugi? That's incredible.
No, I'd be sweating, swearing, trying not to break my phone the entire time. That would be so insanely stressful. So nice work so far on the mentality for Mohamed Light, and 1 game up. And if he wins, I'd love to get that poll going again and see what everybody says.
Absolutely. That would be a blast. And you talk about the decksmanship. I've heard almost everyone use that term. Finally, after 4 years, it's become part of the game. And you have to commend Mohamed Light with what we see here at the bottom of the screen. I mean, look at what we got. We have the MK plus Miner plus Wall Breakers. Doesn't have the Royal Ghost in this time. And instead, he decides to throw in the Prince and the Musketeer. So what is the idea here, Rich? Well, I'm hoping you're going to use a big spell. I'm hoping you're going to use Lightning or Fireball, because now I have AQ available. Now I have Royal Hogs available. All the most powerful win conditions are all still available for Mohamed Light. Maybe he didn't get the spells out that he wanted, but he was at least able to feel out his opponent.
So game number 1 goes to Mo, and Mugi now has to go back to the drawing board because, again, Drill has been very up and down this weekend, has not been a phenomenal way to actually get true tower damage. And you saw the Drill Wall Breakers together nearly getting it done a couple of times, but it feels like Mugi has to really take a different route. And we've already seen him do that with that Golem play. I'm wondering what other creativity he has here for game number 2.
That's a really great call on going heavy again, whether it's to the skies or on the ground. The one thing, it's tough to say here because Mugi is such an exceptional player. He has done so much in his career, but running Wall Breakers plus anything against Mohamed Light, trying to out-cycle the Cycle God, trying to out-Wall Breaker him or Morton, it always seems like a bit of a bad call. It's like going, you know, Hog against Viper, like going Mortar against Igor or Lapo. They just know it so well, and you saw it. Mohamed Light was on top of his cycle that entire game.
Well, we had some really good pieces there, of course. The concern was in the early part of the game, if he could keep up with it, with the Mega Knight being so heavy, but did a great job with the arrows, great job with the zap. So now we go into game number 2, and we'll see what Mugi has in store. Game 1, Tesla gone, guards gone, Fire Spirits, Drill, Fireball being out as well, and that, of course, opens up a lot for Mohamed Light.
So Mother Witch cycled in the back here to meet that Royal Ghost that has been such a nuisance. So I like that Mohamed Light didn't use it in that first deck, and he now has it available for game number 2.
And it is the Archer Queen, Queen versus Knight for game 2.
Barbarrel going to take her off the board. No, does not. Nice use of the invisibility there and getting great value on top of that Golden Knight.
And that's a decent dash here. You know, you want that dash to chain most of the time, but trying to open up that route or at least force more expenditure out from Mugi.
And yeah, you do really like that call. It's exactly what you should have done in that moment, but Mugi was ready for it. Tower's basically untouched. Mohamed Light is the first one to draw blood. 28-28 to 230-52s.
Mugi right back to the AQ. P.E.K.K.A. into that lane, and that got a response out of Mugi.
Yeah, I mean, again, and that's exactly what Mohamed Light and Juicy are trying to do. Make your opponents keep guessing. We've seen Mohamed Light go to this deck twice today, once in game number 1, now here in game number 2, and seeing him slow things down this much is really nice to see. And also, that was a great activation of that invisibility while Mama P.E.K.K.A. was mid-swing.
This is going to result in some serious damage here, though, with the Mother Witch, who was the center of the Clash Royale meta for so long, getting some good value, some pig damage, and of course, making Mugi make some choices.
So that Brawler plus Cage is on the board as Mohamed Light ticks to 10. Looks like he might be up by 3, but really technically down by 1. But now he has his Golden Knight here to respond.
And again, the bad sign there, a little laugh and a smirk from Mo.
It's amazing what that can do to your mentality. Oh, and look at that. That is a brilliant sequence.
Wow.
Royal Ghost up front, Pekka behind with a Golden Knight in tow. Now, he didn't get a lot out of it this time around because of a great lightning, but you think about that push coming in, that is a devastating blow.
This is a difficult spot here for Mo. The Royal Giant left-hand side, able to take care of the AQ as she already did pop her ability. But this is going to be, I believe, a lead change here as that last shot, no, just barely not getting off.
Great use of the Fish Boy there, pulling that Royal Ghost away. But since it was a Royal Ghost, a bit tankier than maybe Mugi would have liked, Ewiz does its work along with the Golden Knight up to protect the Ewiz again. But look at this cycle. Another Royal Giant down. Ram Rider comes in to slow it.
And we've seen Ruben use that Ram Rider against the Royal Giant defense quite a lot, and it did not work out for him yesterday, but you see here Mohamed Light using that idea and getting great success.
Yep, and talking about great success, this Poison getting excellent value on top of these Mother Witches every single time around, bringing that tower down to 2243. But Mugi just a little bit behind and definitely has a great opportunity still to take game number 2. This is a big send.
Ram Rider getting nowhere near that Goblin Cage, so Ram Rider will get a close to connection, but Log does stop it.
Yeah, Lightning plus Log is nice there, but you see Mohamed Light just ticked to 10 when that Bar Barrel came out. Up in Elixir by a little bit here, about 2 or 3.
Well, 2 or 3 can be so massive when you're playing bridge spam. So we'll see if he can find a way to take advantage, and of course you see stacking to the bridge right now is Mo.
Looking for a poison here on top of the Mother Witch. There it is. No dash coming in from that Golden Knight with the Royal Ghost up front. Easy to make that decision.
And again, Mother Witch being huge for Mo, he takes the lead even further on that left-hand side.
Lightning in here, 1913 to 1981. Mugi behind by just a hair. He has Mo beat by spell power. Can he keep this lead?
Fish Boy gets cut off its strings by Mama Pekka. And now setting up in both lanes is Mo. Lead goes to Mugi now with that lightning on the left-hand side.
That cycle with his defense, Rich, is starting to get devastating for Mohamed Light. Mo has to sequence a perfect offense. And there you go. Golden Knight dashes on the tower. Fish Boy does pull it away. Only 300 separates him on the right-hand side, 200 on the left.
This Royal Giant is going to be a big game maker.
It's on.
How many shots does it get? Lightning in, RG on the tower, and this is looking like Mugi's got game number 2 all sewn up.
And you figure with that Mama Pekka that it maybe would have been a little bit more involved in those Royal Giant defenses, but Mo, always knowing that Fisherman is in play, pulling that Mama Pekka away, sacrifices the tower. So Mo tries to slow play his defense a bit, and he gets punished for it. Mugi doing a great job, not overextending himself, and then lightning cycling when he had no other options.
Great work by Mugi, and now we are all tied up, and here we go. A game 1. Can Mugi secure the Clash Royale League World Championship in our next game, or will Mo extend it to a brand new best of 3?
This is a best of 1 for Mugi for $200,000 guaranteed. He just needs to win one more game. 5 minutes stand between him and potential greatness. That bracket reset will be devastating for his confidence. Now, he's played great so far, but you don't want that reset against Mo.
No, you most certainly don't. We've seen the momentum that can go with that bracket reset, and of course with the research that can be so dangerous. And this was the story. This is I guess we're getting close to the end here, where this one right here, the lightning comes in, the Pekka gets slowed down, stunned for a moment, and even with all the DPS, that Royal Giant gets a ton of damage on that left-hand tower.
It was just a great recognition. Ram Rider cycled in the back. There's nothing up high to slow down. So what's the best response? Well, a Pekka right on top of that Royal Giant. But Mohamed Light doesn't want to do that because he knows the Fisherman is right around the corner. He knows it's going to be cycled out. So Mohamed Light, by cycling that Ram Rider early on, he kind of put himself in a rough spot defensively.
Yeah, that's a tough spot overall, but Mugi able to capitalize on Mohamed Light's opening, and now we go to game number 3. 3 to 5 minutes, and this is a legacy game for both these players. Obviously, Mugi, a big win here, would be a championship for Mohamed Light, the reset on the line, but both these guys have already proven themselves so much, but there is one thing that you can't replace, and that's not just the money. Money you can earn. There's only one of these.
There's only
one
one
of those.
And there's only one moment where you can be called the best Clash Royale player in history. I mean, I know that seems like a very big statement, but we've seen it with teams before, and we've seen how much the game has evolved, even from 2020 to now, let alone 2019, 18, and the last time we did have a world champion, a singular world champion in 2017. Whoever wins this set, whoever walks away with this championship will be the consensus best player in Clash Royale history.
Man, what a weight to carry at this moment, and you got to wonder how Mugi's feeling right now, more importantly, how Mo's feeling right now. Again, that breath of fresh air maybe on Mugi's side. On Mo's side, man, you've put in so much work all year. You've done it so many times. You have to do it just one more time. Here we go. Match point, championship point for Mugi.
Mohamed Light trying to stay alive and extend this to one more best of 3, but the Japanese great in Mugi, the MVP of 2020, has a lot to say about that.
And a bit of a slow start here. Mo opens up with an Earthquake cycle, and Mugi doesn't even respond.
You wonder if he's going to go heavy. Mo already showing that he's going light and fast. Happy to cycle an Earthquake early on. A Bowler. We have not seen Bowler since, I think, day 1, and I'm pretty sure this means Loon Freeze. It could mean something else, but that's mainly what we see Bowler with.
Bowler Loon Freeze against Archer Queen and the Mortar. Normally, you'd feel pretty good about that for Mo, but of course, both those 2 cards out. This might be Mugi's best opportunity right here, but he's not going to go to 0 with Mo being almost full.
Happy to get that rage, though, makes it so that Mohamed Light has to spend on this Knight, and that Knight pressure is just a little bit less than he'd like. Bar Barrel out, not back around to Bowler yet. Maybe NATO comes into play. There it is.
Yeah, the King Tower activation here, but as we say often, at what cost? Tons of damage. This is a rough matchup for Mugi.
It's a nice setup there with the Inferno Dragon to block those Spear Goblins from getting on tower, but here we go. AQ running into a Bowler, and we wonder when Mugi's actually going to go on the offensive. With only 3.5 elixir in the tank, I think he just holds steady.
Spear Goblins, Archer Queen, Mortar. All 3 good responses to that Loon, not to mention delivery, certainly also valuable.
Yeah, that is a great setup there. You have the Spear Goblins to bait out a spell, or the NATO. You have the AQ with the ability, the Mortar to reset, and of course that delivery to drop on top. So here we go. The first Loon send is in. Mohamed Light was waiting for it. Tanked at the bridge, so the Princess Tower's on top of the balloon. But that means the Lumberjack's getting tanked for.
Yeah, that Mortar not doing what he wanted, and the freeze comes in. Oh my word!
And look at the Mohamed Light. You can see him freaking out.
Oh no! Tower down. Mohamed Light in trouble. 45 seconds left,
Rich,
and that might be the championship.
That's it. There is no way that he breaks through this, but he is hoping, praying for a chance. But that was just an exquisite send. That Lumberjack did so much work, and Mohamed Light can see the writing on the wall.
That Mortar, what an interesting place for the Mortar, and it gave such a clean, easy way to get that freeze in. Cannon cart down, 22 seconds left.
Mohamed Light looks despondent. Freeze is going to come in defensively. And Rich, we have our 2021 World Champion in Mugi.
Unbelievable. I guarantee you fans around the world celebrating like crazy. Posters going up on walls. Mugi is your 2021 CRL World Champion.
He's done it. $200,000, and he busts out not only the Prince Lance, but the Loon Freeze late in the tournament. We only saw it one other time, and Mugi takes Mohamed Light out with that deck.
Bowler Loon Freeze in early versions of dual mode was so popular and basically fell out of favor. I'll say this, only mid-upper tier players were still using it consistently in dual mode sets. And in this moment, Mugi pulls it out, and from the get-go, Mohamed Light looked uncomfortable.
And here we go. Our world champion celebrated here in studio. That trophy is his. $200,000 is his. And the greatness, the legacy of being the best Clash Royale player in the world goes to that young man.
Unbelievable. I can't say it enough. Mugi, who did not succeed in competitive play all year, who did not seem like dual mode was his mode, comes through on the biggest stage, the most important time, and the only time it matters is right here at World Finals. And here we go to Helsinki, to Supercell headquarters, and only one player in Clash Royale history can ever have what's happening right now.
They get their face up on the most important building to all of us Clash Royale players out there, Supercell headquarters in Helsinki, Finland. Everyone in that country is going to know who Mugi is if they don't already.
I have a feeling they probably do. Clash Royale, of course, huge in the home of the game, but there's only one player who's ever had their face that big anywhere in that country, maybe anywhere in the world. Mugi, your CRL 2021 world champion. This is a day, this is a night, this is a time he'll remember for the rest of his life.
What a beautiful scene to set there for Mugi to celebrate his $200,000 prize, and now he gets to hold the title of the best Clash Royale player in the world. A bit of an underdog, as crazy as that seems. Like you said, not a lot of competitive success in 2021. Everyone's eyes were on Mohamed Light, on Morton, on so many other players that have proved so much in our monthly finals, but Mugi takes the cake.
We know you talk about the players who've been fans of CRL East for a long time, and his run with Ponos last year in CRL East was amazing. He was the MVP for a reason, of course, overshadowed a little bit by that year's CRL world champion in Team Queso and Ruben, who did take the win over him in that matchup, but took his time, crushed ladder this season, and came through right here to get that beautiful trophy and, of course, $200,000.
Let's take a closer look at that prize pool and how much money this guy's going to walk away with. If you don't already know, I'd be shocked. $200,000 goes to Mugi. $100,000 goes to Mohamed Light, and that's where it ends at the six figures. Those two guys in a $300,000 best of three. Mugi comes out on top with a life to give. You know what that means? He didn't lose this weekend.
Wow, unbelievable. Complete straight run from the single elimination through that double bracket all the way to our championship. A perfect run for Mugi, and to get their thoughts on it, I know we're excited here. Of course, our co-casters, Eric Benamu and Joshua Sharon, standing by with probably their excitement over what has been